Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Fuller. As chair of the board, I welcome you to this virtual October 5th, 2021 regular meeting of the Washtenaw County Board of Road Commissioners. Our communications manager, Emily Kaiser, will describe how our virtual meetings operate, how to access the agenda packet, and how people may participate remotely. Emily.
Thank you, Commissioner. So if you'd like to make public comment during the public comment portion of this meeting, I'll provide instructions and prompt you at the appropriate time in the agenda to do so. We'll have you virtually raise your hand at that time. And this can be done through your computer or through your touch tone phone. The chat feature on the Zoom meeting is available only as technical support for users on their computer or smartphone. If you're experiencing technical issues with audio or video during the meeting, please submit a comment in the chat feature and I will try to help you troubleshoot. If you're a commissioner or a staff member having technical issues, please contact the IT help desk and they'll be able to help you during the meeting. The audio and video of this meeting is being recorded. A link to the video will be posted to wcroads.org in the next day or two. Today's meeting agenda is also posted on wcroads.org and there's a link available in the chat if you're joining us from your computer. I'll share that link one more time in just a second. That's all I have, Commissioner.
Thank you, Emily. I now call this meeting to order and Aaron will call the roll. Commissioners, if you would please identify your location for this meeting. Aaron.
Chair Barb Fuller.
Barb Fuller participating remotely from Scio Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan.
Vice Chair Rod Green.
Good afternoon, I'm Roderick Green. I'm participating from Acme Township in Grand Traverse County, Michigan.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas. Oh, I think you're muted.
Yep. Gloria Yamas reporting virtually from Acme Township in Grand Traverse County, Michigan.
Thank you. Commissioner Doug Fuller.
Doug Fuller is present and participating remotely from Scio Township in Washtenaw County.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes, present and participating remotely from Acme Township, Grand Traverse County, Michigan.
Managing Director Cheryl Siddle.
Present.
County Highway Engineer Matt McDonald.
Present.
Director of Operations Jim Harmon.
Present.
Director of Finance and IT Dan Ackerman.
Here.
Thank you, Aaron. At this time, I ask that we observe a moment of silence for the Americans and Michiganders who have perished because of the COVID-19 virus and now the Delta variant of that disease. Thank you. At this time, may I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Madam Chair, I motion that we approve the October 5th, 2021, 1 p.m. agenda.
I support.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Any additions, deletions, corrections, questions about the agenda? Hearing none. Aaron, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Doug Fuller.
Aye.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Aye.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next item is acceptance of the minutes. We have two sets of minutes to approve today. May I have a motion to accept the board meeting minutes of September 21st, 2021 as presented? They appear on pages 3 through 13 of your packet.
Madam Chair, I move acceptance of the board meeting minutes of September 21st, 2021 as presented.
Second.
Thank you. Any additions, deletions, corrections? Hearing none. Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Fuller.
Aye.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. May I have a motion to accept the working session minutes of September 21st, 2021 as presented, appearing on pages 14 through 16 of the packet?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the working session minutes of September 21st, 2021.
Support.
Any corrections, additions, deletions? Hearing none. Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Fuller,
Aye.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is public comment. This is the time set aside on the agenda to receive comments from the public. This is not intended to be a period for dialogue. Each person will be allotted 3 minutes to address the board. Emily, do we have anyone with their hands raised wishing to comment?
Thanks, Commissioner. I'm going to just provide quick instructions as to how to do that before we ask. So if you'd like to make a public comment, we ask that you virtually raise your hand now. If you're viewing the meeting on your computer, you want to first make sure to click join audio, and then you can raise your hand by clicking the participants or the reactions button located at the bottom of your screen, and then the raise hand button. If you dial into the meeting from your touch tone phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. I will unmute participants with raised hands one at a time. I will announce your username or the last 4 digits of your phone number when it is your turn to speak. Please share your name and address before beginning your comments.
Now then, do we have anyone with their hand raised wishing to comment?
At this time, Commissioner, we do not have anybody with a raised hand.
Thank you. We will move on to written communications. They appear on pages 17 through 24 of the packet. Commissioners, do you have any items you wish to draw our attention to or questions about any of the written communications?
I do.
Commissioner Doug Fuller.
I just wish to thank the managing director for including in the board packet the reply to the comment from the last board meeting about the bicyclists that were unhappy with the situation at Frames Lake Road and Cherry Hill Road. I thank the managing director.
Anything else, commissioners? Joanne?
Yes, I was going to say the same, and I was going to say that that the traffic and safety engineering, what was done to look at that dangerous intersection was done very well and timely and accurately. And I just wanted to say that I thought it was done very well. Thank you.
Certainly.
Thank you. We'll pass that along to staff. I appreciate that feedback.
Yep. Commissioner Yamas, I wanted to echo the same. I know that I requested that. You always do such a great job. And this way the public knows that we do everything we can, including the traffic and safety engineering section that conducted the study. We always are looking out for the public, and I appreciate the work and the response.
Thank you.
Commissioner Green.
Yes. Madam Chair, I'd also like to comment on the correspondence I sent to the property owner. I believe her name is Margaret Jewett, regarding the drainage problem. I felt that that response was very appropriate, well detailed as well, so that she could understand what was happening and who was responsible. So thank you so much to our managing director and our staff.
Thank you. And Tony Grubb, our district foreman, also met with her. So that was a collaborative effort as well.
I do have one question. Hopefully she was satisfied with that. It appeared that she wanted to blame the road commission for her culverts being covered up. And my hope was that she understood all of that. So in meeting with your staff, our staff, she was able to gain the information she needed.
That was certainly the intent. And if she calls back or writes us again, we'll certainly continue to have that dialogue should she not fully understand what we can and cannot do to help her. Thank you.
Other comments? Seeing no other hands raised, next item would be follow-up to public comment. Because there was none, we will move on to new business. May I have a motion, please, to approve the consent agenda as presented, items 1 through 3, appearing on pages 25 through 28.
Madam Chair, I move adoption of the consent agenda as presented for items 1, 2, 3. 1.
Support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner McCollum. Any discussion? Seeing none. Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Fuller,
Aye.
Commissioner Joanne McCullum,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next, we have 2 action items. May I have a motion to consider action item number 1, the audio-visual upgrades for the Washtenaw County Road Commission boardroom. The motion appears on page 29 of the packet.
Madam
Yes,
Chair,
you may. Oh, please, Gloria, go ahead.
that upon the recommendation of the IT manager in concurrence with the Director of Finance and IT and the Managing Director, the board hereby accepts the proposal from AVI Systems Incorporated for audio-visual upgrades to the Washtenaw County Road Commission boardroom for the cost of $92,185.69.
Support.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I see
Madam
no
Chair,
hand. Please.
Would it be appropriate to ask the managing director to outline those upgrades?
Certainly, if you wish to hear them. Cheryl?
Sure, I'd be happy to do that. And then if there's any questions, I will rely heavily upon Chris Quinter and Emily Kaiser to help me out here. But essentially what we're hoping to accomplish is that we know that under the Open Meetings Act, that starting in January, we will need to hold meetings that are open to the public in person, but we have certainly benefited from the ability to have these virtual meetings and to really increase our audience and our transparency in the access to the meetings that we have, especially since they're in the middle of the day. So we'd like to have hybrid meetings moving forward. And so the intent of these upgrades is to put the technology into the boardroom that will allow us to accommodate the public both in person and virtually moving forward. And so we will have several display monitors that will be up. There'll be a large monitor that will be on the wall behind the dais behind the board, so that people sitting in the audience or potentially speaking can see what is taking place, as well as at least one display on one of the walls to the side so that the board also can see that. And then there will be cameras that will be in place that will be recording the proceedings, both again, the actions of the board. Clearly that's important, but also to be able to see the public or anyone that would be speaking to the boardroom. And then of course, all the support technology behind that in order for the board to be able to function, as well as again, for the public to be able to see and to participate in our meetings, both in person and remotely. Chris or Emily, is there anything that I missed or that you want to add to what I just said?
Cheryl, I think that was a really solid overview. I think the other thing too is that after visiting the county board of commissioners downtown's setup, we also decided to have monitors put at the dais so that you as road commissioners and then Cheryl as staff member up there can see the people that are participating remotely as well. So there'll be small monitors located on the dais as well, so that you guys can see that and what's going on in the virtual part of the meeting or the presentation.
Thank you. You're right. I missed that piece. Chris, is there anything else to add? I know you're the one who can answer all the highly technical questions and I know that I am not equipped to it, but basically your job is to make sure it all works.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Emily and Cheryl really summed it up pretty well. There's gonna be 2 large TVs in the room, several on the dais, microphones and cameras. And to make all that run, there's a lot of supporting hardware that is needed to do that, and to take the feeds from the cameras, the microphones, everything, and get it into a production like a Zoom or a Teams. So I'm happy to go over it with anyone. I don't want to get in too far into the weeds unless there are further questions on it, but I think you two did a nice job summarizing the end goal.
And certainly if you are in the building, we'd be happy to show it to you. We're really high tech around here. We've taken string and put them up so that you can see where the TV displays will go and sort of the magnitude, the size, so that hopefully they're functional and helpful to the people that are in attendance.
Yeah, and Cheryl, the only other thing I wanted to mention is that we're really hopeful that we can have this all set up by the end of the year. But our vendors, all of the vendors who provided proposals, all warned us of supply chain issues. And so we are really hopeful that we can get everything set up, but I think we have a plan if we need to have virtual meetings, kind of make it work until our technology is ready. But we're really hopeful that we can have things in place by January. It just really depends on supply chain. So just keep that in mind as well.
Thank you, Emily. I appreciate that. Are there any questions for staff about what we're hoping to accomplish or what this is going to look like or how it's going to work? All right.
Thank you, everyone, for explaining the context of this motion. If there are no further questions, Erin, if you would call the roll.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Fuller,
Aye.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next action item, may I have a motion to approve the settlement agreement for the Textile Road project as described? The motion appears on page 30 of our packet.
Certainly you may. The motion reads that upon the recommendation of the county engineer, director of engineering, and concurrence of the managing director, and upon the recommendation of council, the board hereby approves settlement of the lawsuit Board of Road Commissioners for Washtenaw County versus Mildred Schenkel, case number 191020 CC, for a total payment of $50,000 from the Washtenaw County Road Commission.
I support.
Thank you. Discussion, questions? Cheryl, any context you want to provide or just move along?
The only context that I will provide is that this was previously discussed in closed session with our legal counsel, Dan Troika, back in June. And what is before the board at this time is consistent with what was discussed at that time.
Thank you. Seeing no hands raised, Erin, if you would call the roll, please.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Fuller,
Aye.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Next item on the agenda are reports. I see that we have been joined by Caroline Sanders, our county commissioner from District 4. Caroline, do you have any updates or thoughts you'd like to share with us at this time?
Oh, Commissioner, if you're
I
speaking,
don't
we
know. We'll
can't.
have,
okay, go ahead.
I've been contacted. Can you hear me?
We can, yep, it's
Been
just a little.
contacted by two of, yes, you can or can't hear me.
We can, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you this is kind of spotty because you all are frozen. But I don't have anything to share with you, other than attending the association's annual conference in Mackinac this past weekend. I do have been contacted by 2 of my constituents about issues related to roads, but they have not elaborated yet. But I'll share that with Cheryl once I get that information.
Excellent. Say hello to the little one for us. And as we've noted previously, Sue Schenk, District 2 Chair of the Board of Commissioners, has previously advised us that she's got another standing meeting that conflicts with our board meetings and is unable to attend for that reason. So let's move along to the reports from the county commission, from the road commissioners. Commissioner Doug Fuller, do you have a report for us?
I did not write one. I would just comment, generally speaking, that I'm extremely pleased with the overall state of the projects that we've undertaken for this year. Just as the chair has pointed out on several different occasions, the sheer amount of work that has been done this year is astounding. I would draw attention to the fact, and I did last meeting as well, that the boom mowing quality of work is simply outstanding. And that's true across the county in every district. It is absolutely amazing to see what correct equipment with good training and coaching can actually accomplish. So that concludes my report.
Thank you. Commissioner McCollum, I know you submitted something in writing, but would you like to share it with the public in this forum?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. On September 22nd, I had a meeting with the Ypsilanti Township official about putting the snow removal policy in the Ypsilanti Township newsletter and other information about the road commission that would be helpful to the public. On October 3rd to October 5th, I attended the commissioner's seminar titled On the Road to Leadership. And I would like to comment on the US 12 M17 road improvement project. The construction is coming along well, and I've noticed a significant decrease in traffic going through the West Willow community. I like the beautiful old tree that was preserved on its own island. It was really creative, and kudos to OHM Engineering Company and the construction company for doing so. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Green.
I'd just like to indicate that I just completed the commissioner seminar here in Grand Traverse County. It was very informative, and I will provide a written summary at a future meeting. It's been very good. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad you found it worthwhile. Commissioner Yamas.
Yes, so I reviewed the legislative updates on 9/24 and 9/30. 9/24 was transportation and budget approvals, and on the TEDF and on 9/30, the Frost Law modifications, HB 5290. I found them all very interesting, and SB 465. I also attended the 2021 Commissioner Seminar, October 3rd through the 5th, and found it very enlightening, and will also provide a summary later on, and have come back with lots of questions. Has piqued my curiosity, and I've really enjoyed it. So I also drove Bemis Road project, and I'm loving the progress and the look. Everything looks so professional, as does the completion of the Crane Road project, the Packard Road project. Now we're on the second half of Packard Road, but Packard Road from Manchester up to Hewitt is beautiful, and Getty's Road is also looking great. So I appreciate all the hard work that the staff has put forward and how smoothly things are going along. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. The only item I have to report that on September 24th, I attended an informational update on the federal aid grant programs to better understand how that process works. Let's move to the managing director and staff reports. Cheryl, if you would, please.
Sure, thank you. I would like to start by thanking my staff. I actually had the opportunity to be on vacation for a couple of days last week. And so I am very grateful to the fact that they just picked up the ball and ran with it. And so they were the ones who compiled all the information, putting the board packet together and getting it out and doing all of that in addition to everything else that they do. And I am very grateful for the ability to go on vacation and know that I don't have to worry about things in my absence. So thank you very much to all of them for doing that. In the board packet, we do have a series of staff reports. I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have on those. And if there aren't any questions, then I am going to be more than happy to hand it over to the directors. So we'll go ahead and start with Jim Harmon.
Thank you, Cheryl. Good afternoon, everyone. The operations staff report can be found in your packet beginning on page 41 and ending on page 46. It covers the period of September 13th through September 26th. I'm happy to report, in addition to that information, we have received our winter maintenance pre-season salt deliveries. We are well stocked in preparation for winter, and we have an equal amount in reserve as part of our seasonal backfill, if needed, when needed, throughout the winter season. We have, some of the staff have been able to begin the winter maintenance preparations, getting equipment converted over, so mounting wing plows and getting things lubricated and repaired and geared up for winter, geared up for inspections. In the past, we've afforded about a week for a given crew, take them offline and allow them to collectively and concurrently prepare the equipment assigned to their group, and then that would follow with formal inspections. Because of the pandemic and our interest in workplace safety and worker safety, we're repeating what we did last year, which was affording about a month for the foreman to schedule that work over that period of time and be able to maintain social distancing and still accomplish all of the other projects and routine maintenance, emergent work that we have to do. Last year that worked very well, and we're repeating that this year in coordination support from our shop, our stock room, our superintendent. So please report that effort is underway well in advance of winter. As far as construction is concerned, we completed limestone resurfacing on Merrill Road and Northfield Church Road, located in Webster Township and in partnership with Webster Township recently. Presently this morning, we completed limestone resurfacing on North Street, down off of Moorville Road in York Township, and the crew has already moved over to performing the same work on Hack Road. Both those projects, again, in partnership with York Township. Fog sealing is occurring this afternoon on Wagner Road and will continue tomorrow. We've had to wait because of the moisture this morning, high humidity, for the pavement to dry, and our heavy equipment crew has been very patient, but eager to move forward. It may take a little bit longer for that liquid asphalt to what we refer to as break or set up to allow traffic to get on it, but we're fully aware of that circumstance and working through that at this time. We will complete Wagner Road fog sealing most likely tomorrow, and then all that remains as far as that program is similar preventive maintenance on our pavement that's in fair condition here at the main yard. I expect that to occur next week. Base repairs and curb repairs have been completed in Pittsfield Township on Grant Avenue. That is located between Packard Road and Central Avenue. That again is in partnership with Pittsfield Township. And later this week, we expect the asphalt milling and resurfacing to occur. Staff has been keeping the township officials apprised of our progress and any disruption due to weather, but so far so good. And similar work is underway on Sunset Trail in the Ford Lake Village subdivision. You may recall that's between Textile and Huron River Drive in Ypsi Township. And there are a series of roads in that particular neighborhood that will be resurfacing. Sunset Trail required a little more work, repair the base and some of the curbing that had deteriorated. So we're pleased to be progressing with that project as well. Then finally, our new forestry truck arrived to complement our existing aerial lift truck. And we're excited to put that into action in the next couple of days. The shop did a great job of doing some final setup on that once we received it from the dealer and the upfitter. And our second new asphalt distributor that we use on our seal coat program is completed. There were just a couple minor items that the dealer was working on and should be delivered in the next day or two. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. It's been very productive last 2 weeks. Thank you.
Jim, it looks like Commissioner Green has a question.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jim. The question that I'm asked repeatedly is the progress on Getty's Road Bridge and when that bridge might be completed and Getty's Road might be reopened.
Thank you, Commissioner. Our engineering department is administering that work on Getty's Road. So I'm going to guess that Mr. McDonnell will be able to report on that here in a few moments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, that's a perfect segue into engineering. So Matt, if you have a moment.
Sure. That project is progressing. The concrete box culvert has been installed. The water's flowing through it. Obviously, with the last week or so of rain, it's delayed the road work a bit, but they are hauling material away from the site, and then they'll begin hauling the sand and aggregates to build the road back in the coming weeks. A couple of weeks away, obviously weather dependent, but things are making good progress. So I'd say 3 to 4 weeks out yet.
Anything else in the engineering department?
As Jim indicated, we had a little bit of a collaborative effort on Wagner Road. I'm sorry, Waters Road. We are at Wagner Road at Waters was the intersection project, and then Wagner Road was the chip seal and fog seal. So that effort was underway and now is open to traffic. Very, very thankful for that collaboration and a good result. Still work underway to finish that intersection project. We've got the flashing beacon and some pavement markings as well. But ultimately, the bulk of the work is wrapped up, and we're focusing our attention on getting ready for next year. So any questions, I'd be happy to answer. I did want to update the board on one other topic. We've been in discussions with MDOT regarding a funding opportunity for the Liberty Road Bridge over Mill Creek in Lima Township. There's a possibility that this bridge that's been closed for over 10 years may be eligible for what MDOT terms as the next bridge bundle. So they bundle together projects for consideration for the locals to partner with. Really, the focus of this bridge bundle is to identify bridges that have been closed for over 10 years and to pay for the removal of those structures. The bridge would be removed, things restored, and the channel opened back, and ultimately the bridge would be removed from the National Bridge Inventory. So that is something that I would like to talk further with the board on at the working session in 2 weeks. And we'll be also obviously talking to the township as well to introduce them to what the opportunity is and correspond with them over the coming weeks.
Thank you, Matt. Are there any questions for Matt? All right, Dan.
Cheryl. Just a few things with regards to the finance department. I'm finalizing our waiver request for Public Act 202. Again, that's related to our pension. We've been doing this the past few years now. So I'm finalizing our waiver request and plan on having that in the board packet for the next meeting in October. Then we can get that to the state of Michigan and go from there. So be on the lookout for that. So we have a new employee, Jamie Bray, and we've been working on training with her, and so far so good. She seems to be a quick learner and has been a nice addition to the department. And if you can turn to the last page of the board packet, we received our latest Michigan transportation funds. So for August of 2021, it was up about 2% from 2020. And if you look at it, it's the largest we received of any month this year. And then year to date, we're at about 11% higher than last year. Kind of interesting, and the state has done this the last several years. The state's budget starts October 1st, and there's always a concern about a government shutdown. And so what they've done is they've actually paid us a week earlier in case, because if there's a shutdown, they wouldn't been able to pay us the August Michigan transportation funds. So I thought that's kind of nice that they do that to ensure that we receive that and that there's no delays in it. So we definitely appreciate the state of Michigan doing that for us. And also, believe it or not, we're working on third quarter reports in finance. I don't know how we already got to the third quarter, but I guess time flies when you're having fun. So so working on all those. And then as far as IT is concerned, we've been talking a lot about adequate backups and disaster recovery. And as we've discussed, we are making backups, but currently it's not replicating everything, meaning we have the backups, but we wouldn't be up and running for a while until we had all the hardware and everything up and going. And we shared with you that there is a potential very cost-effective cloud solution. And I'm happy to report Chris Quinter, working with our managed service provider, has set that up for us. And now we're transferring data over there because we've got, a lot of data that has to make it to the cloud. And then once everything is transferred, it's just any new data, so it would be much quicker. But the point is, say there was a ransomware request or, whatever you want to call that, we can isolate our servers, and it's almost a plug and play for all of our users to utilize this cloud backup, and really puts us in a much better position if we have any issues like that. So really appreciate Chris's efforts on that. He was able to get that going very quickly for us, and like I said, this is a great way to protect the integrity of all the data that flows through the organization. So that's all I have, unless there's any questions.
All right, thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
The last thing that I would like to say is I am very glad to hear that the Commissioners' Conference has been a success and that you have enjoyed it. I would like to give a special thank you, shout out to Erin Stewart. She really did a nice job of not only organizing all the registration and whatnot for the three of you, but then also trying to make sure that we had the IT capabilities to get you to this meeting here. And then certainly with Chris and Emily's support, that we were able to make this a success. We kept saying all we need is one more to make sure that we had our quorum. But indeed, we were actually able to get everyone online, and that's fantastic, and we appreciate you working with us, but that was a lot of effort on Erin's part, and I just would like to recognize her for that. So other than that, that's all staff has to share today.
Thank you, Cheryl. We have now finished our regular agenda, and we have a closed session that we need to move into. If I could have a motion, please, to move into closed session regarding an inquiry to purchase property in Scio Township.
Madam Chair, I motion that we go into closed session about the inquiry to purchase property in Scio Township.
I support.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Erin, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Doug Fuller,
Aye.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Emily, would you please describe how this will work?
Thanks, Commissioner. Yep, so what we're gonna do is if you are not a road commissioner or a designated staff member, I'll now move you to the virtual waiting room. If you would like to be returned to the open session of the meeting once we've completed the closed session, please remain in the waiting room, and then I will readmit you once the closed session has been completed. So let's see, I'm gonna go through and do that. Give me just a second here. Thanks, Commissioner. Yep, we do. Now that we're back in full session, I'm going to readmit Commissioner Sanders here. And then she was the only one that stuck around in the waiting room. So we'll give her a second to join. The recording, as you heard, has restarted. And we should be good to go.
All right. Having no further business before the board, I would just like to note that on October 19th, that's our next meeting date at 9 a.m. We have a virtual working session followed at 1:00 p.m. by a virtual regular board meeting. Our chat sessions, as we know, occur every Wednesday from noon to 1 p.m. Tomorrow, Commissioner McCollum is up for that session. And then on it's not September 13th, it must be October 13th. I'm up for that session. So we've got a couple of chat sessions coming up. And once again, if you're unable to participate, please arrange for a substitute. May I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Aaron, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum,
Yes.
Commissioner Doug Fuller,
Aye.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Rod Green,
Yes.
and Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes. Drive safely, those of you up north. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you, everyone. We are adjourned.